How can citizens make sure they will be able to vote in the upcoming election?
You need to be registered to vote before the deadline, which is October 20th. And to do that, voters should make sure that they check their registrations to make sure they're registered at their current address. And they can do that by calling the elections office. We have an automated phone information line that's available 24/7.
How do people register to vote?
It's very easy. First, they need to get a registration card, and those are available at post offices, libraries, city clerk's offices, at our office, by calling, and we'll send one out. And then they need to fill it out clearly and mail it in by the deadline, which is October 20th.
Can anyone register to vote?
Nearly anyone can register to vote. You need to be a citizen and 18 years old by the date of the election. You can't be in prison or on parole for the conviction of a felony, and you cannot be declared mentally incompetent.
If a person moves, do they need to re-register?
If people move, they need to make sure that they re-register at their current address.
Can people vote early?
Yes, they can. Voting in the Registrar of Voters office starts 29 days before the election.
What is voting by mail?
Voting by mail is getting your ballot in the mail and then mailing it back or delivering it back in person. You can do both. It's very popular here in Marin County. Over 50% of the voters are now voting by mail. And the turnout from the vote by mail voters, it's usually 60 to 70% of our turnout is by mail.
Can you get a permanent vote by mail status?
Yes, you can, and that means that you need to apply one time for permanent vote by mail status, and then we will send you your ballot before every election automatically. All you need to do is apply in writing. You could either write us or come here to the office and fill out an application. It has to be in writing, though. Last year, the name in the law changed from absentee to vote by mail. So now instead of getting an absentee ballot, you get a vote by mail ballot.
Is voting by mail secure?
I think it's very secure. First of all, we have the ability to track every ballot from the time that it gets mailed to the time that it gets into our office. We can track it through the post office, through a special barcode that we put on the envelopes. And then we check every signature on those envelopes to make sure it matches. And if the signature doesn't match, it doesn't get counted.
How do you vote if you're in the military?
People in the military need to be registered to vote, and there's a special form that they can use that they usually have on their bases or at embassies in the different countries where they are. And we send them their ballots 60 days before the election. Now, if they don't have time to mail those ballots back, they can fax them back to our office. We'll even email the ballots to them if they request that.
Is there much flexibility if you vote by mail?
Well, if you've made up your mind on who you want to vote for, it's fine to vote early if you know that you're not going to change your mind. If you think that you're going to change your mind, you could wait until the last minute and then just take your ballot to the polling place. If you change your mind at the polling place, you can exchange your vote by mail ballot for a polling place ballot. So there's a lot of flexibility when you're voting by mail.
When are mail ballots counted?
Mail ballots are the first ballots to be counted. So at 8 o'clock on election night, when you have those results out on our website, those are from the mail ballots that were turned in to our office before Election Day.
Can people volunteer to become a poll worker?
Oh, absolutely. They just need to call our office or send a letter and volunteer. Now, we provide training to all of the inspectors and any clerks who want to come, but we always are looking for poll workers.
Do you have some tips for voters here in Marin County?
First of all, to check your registration and make sure that you're registered at your current address. That is absolutely the #1 thing to do. If you're voting by mail, make sure that you mail your ballot early, well before Election Day, so that it gets to our office by Election Day, because the deadline to receive those ballots so that they can be counted is 8 o'clock on election night. And people can return them to our office, they can return them to any polling place in Marin County. The other thing that people need to remember is when they do vote is to mark the ballot correctly. And that means filling in the oval completely with your black or dark blue pen or the marking pen that's provided at the polling place. There's that oval there, and that's for a reason. That's where the scanner reads your vote. And that's where you need to color in the lines, just like you learned how to do in school.
How do people communicate with the elections office if they have questions?
There are lots of ways that voters can communicate with us. We have a phone number that's available 24/7 for automated information, and then of course during our work hours, which are 8 o'clock until 4:30 every day, except Saturdays and Sundays. And then we have a website with a lot of voting information on it.